Enterprise left the sparkling white beaches of Africa behind and returned to the North Arabian Sea to keep a watchful eye on the turbulent Persian Gulf. Nest-X rumors had begun to circulate around the 10th of April that Enterprise and Air Wing 11 would retaliate against Iran for the laying of a mine that severely damaged the USS Samuel B. Roberts. The afternoon of the 17th, Captain Spain confirmed those rumors, but was unable to give out any further information except for saying that the Roberts would be vindicated the next day.
Evacuate the platform immediately.
Okay, do you give us more time till we know what to do? We don't have the order to leave the platform. They don't let us.
Evacuate immediately. You have less than 1 minute.
8 a.m. in the Persian Gulf. 3 U.S. warships warn an Iranian oil platform at Siri, while 3 more get ready to attack another at Sasson. Both platforms have radar and communications equipment to help direct Iranian attacks against Gulf shipping. The firing begins. At Sasson, Marines board the platform to complete its demolition. Their job done, the ships steam away. At Siri, the fire is too hot for the Marines to climb aboard. Suddenly, a small Iranian missile boat is spotted headed toward the U.S. ships.
We engaged, and he fired at us simultaneously with a missile. The Simpson fired 3 standard missiles, 2 of which hit the PTG. The Wainwright fired 1, which hit the PTG. We have subsequently closed it and fired another missile and it's sunk.
Then Iran retaliated. 3 Boghammer speedboats fired on a U.S. registered oil platform and tug, who really tied. A6s from USS Enterprise responded.
And this is where the A6 hit the 3 Boghammers. To the best of our knowledge, 1 went down, the other 2 were either sunk or badly damaged.
We attacked the closest Boghammer to the platform and hit him. However, it didn't stop him, but it did turn him around and immediately got him heading back towards Abu Musa Island. My wingman rolled in with an LGB, which the Boghammer was able to evade. I came back in for a second run on with Rockeye, and the Boghammers were also able to evade that. But they were getting the idea that we weren't going to stop attacking them, so they really pressed themselves back towards Abu Musa Island. My wingman was able to squarely nail another Boghammer with a series of 3 Rockeye, and within seconds sunk him. By then, the other Boghammers had all either approached Abu Musa or actually beached their boats onto the shore of Abu Musa Island and, as far as we know, ran for cover.
3:35 p.m. An Iranian frigate, the Sahan, with a crew of 125, one of only 4 in Iran's Navy, is spotted heading toward 3 U.S. warships near a rock island in the Strait of Hormuz. Warned away by a Navy surveillance plane, the frigate instead fires at 3 A6 jets from the Enterprise.
We were ingressing, all of a sudden we saw billowing smoke coming off the ship. Visibility was real good that day, so we could see them out at 20-25 miles. And when smoke started coming out of there, it was pretty obvious where our target was. That was coming from the lead's first harpoon impact into the Sahan, as the ship turned out to be. XO and I pressed on in and basically did our attacks as we had briefed without any real changes. We first selected a harpoon anti-ship missile, which we fired at about 12 miles, and then came around and set up for our other attacks, which was going to be 2 Skipper laser-guided bombs that are rocket-powered for a little extra standoff. We shot those from a distance of 6 miles, both at the same time, half second apart, and they flew all the way in there and impacted the stern of the target ship.
The Sahan was also hit by a harpoon from the frigate, the Strauss, I believe it was.
After that encounter, a second Iranian frigate engaged U.S. forces.
The Sabalon did much the same thing, came out and fired at a U.S. A-6 aircraft. We hit it with a laser-guided bomb.
And our aircraft rolled in on the Sabalon and scored a direct hit on the Sabalon, stopping him dead in the water. At that point, we still had harpoon on the aircraft, but chose not to use them because of the closeness of the Sabalon to the Rock Island and the closeness of the Sabalon to the Hawk envelope, which is a very impressive missile system located at Bandar Abbas in Iran.
This is actually the first time that Iran has attacked the U.S. fleet head-on, and it must be a sobering experience to have two of your major warships, those Iranian frigates, put out of action as a result. There was simply no contest between American and Iranian firepower. In the Gulf itself, the U.S. has 1 cruiser, 4 modern destroyers, and 7 frigates, and there's a carrier task force just outside the Gulf. Iran has 3 aging destroyers, 2 working frigates now, a dozen missile boats, and about 50 Swedish speedboats armed with machine guns and rocket-propelled grenades. So whatever the political ramifications of this fighting between Iran and the U.S., when President Reagan decided to go ahead, he could do so in the full knowledge that the U.S. fleet could take care of itself.
Enterprise and her battle group remained at a high state of readiness for the next few weeks for response to any action Iran might take. Battle Group Gulf, led by the conventionally powered aircraft carrier USS Forrestal, made its way through the Mediterranean and Suez Canal to rendezvous with Battle Group Foxtrot on May 21st. In what may be described as a maritime changing of the guard, a ceremonious debriefing of vital information was conducted between the battle groups. Enterprise was being relieved. The Persian Gulf performance of Battle Group Foxtrot during Westpac 88 would be the benchmark by which all successors would be judged.